Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number M329166. Second case is cause number M329170. Both cases are styled with State of Texas versus Jonathan Giovanni Flores. Mr. Flores, is that your full name? Mr. Flores, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Flores, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Mr. Flores, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Flores? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Flores, you're represented in your case by your Attorney General Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing? Mr. Cole, do you waive a record in Mr. Flores' cases?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Flores, in cause number M329170, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Flores, it alleges that on or about November 8th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Flores, excuse me, criminal mischief. Mr. Flores, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Sure.
And to this charge, Mr. Flores, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely or involuntarily?
Sure.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Flores, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Mr. Flores, do you recognize this document?
Sure.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, J A, that are, oh, it must be an F. Looks like an A. What's this? Is this J A or J F?
J.A., sir. J.A., sir.
J A?
Yes, sir.
It should be J F. Your last name is Flores?
I have two last names, that's why, but and my bail bonds,
Here you go.
the ones they have is Alegria, so that's why I put J.A. here.
No, but they're on here, they have you as Jonathan Giovanni Flores. Hmm? Oh, yeah, he did the same thing. He probably need to, yeah. Look at all the paperwork. He could just add his name on there, I guess his last name. No, just Flores. And then go back to that last. The next page he has, did he sign it Flores? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna check it, see. Let me see.
He could just add his last name on there.
Yeah, go ahead.
And on, he has that paperwork on that. What about the other document?
What's the thing? They can get to go.
Okay. You have that discovery certification too? Okay. Okay, now let's see. Was it sent back? Okay. Okay, now Mr. Flores, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And do you recognize this document?
Sure.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials JF on the line that's checked and with a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, There's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand this statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? And I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Flores, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Flores, what country are you from?
Honduras.
Honduras. Okay. Mr. Flores, we have a form that's titled for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. And this document states that as a non-US citizen who is being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular officers here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular officers. A consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want us to notify your consular officers, you can request this notification now or at any time in the future. And the last statement is, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? You can go, I have your attorney to go over that with you. Okay, Mr. Flores, now I have this document for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. And is this your, that's his, why he printed Jonathan and just wrote, okay, he wrote his, I guess his last name down here. Yeah. He printed the first name and then he wrote it.
Oh,
Yeah,
they printed it again.
that's not his signature?
I don't know how to sign.
I mean, that's his signature right there.
Every time
I
I
guess
sign,
it, yes.
I just sign like that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But I'm just saying right here, you're still gonna have to, you have print your name. It says print name. You just put your first name right here. You should have put your last name right there after your first name.
Okay.
Jonathan, you doing these names.
And okay, now, Mr. Flores, I have before me this document that's titled for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. That's at the top of this form. And your country is not a mandatory notification country because you have informed the court that you're from the country of Honduras. Is that correct? Now, on this document, there is a circle under the word, well, around the word no, and it's And it's referring to the question, and the question, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And you circle no, is that correct? Now, is this your signature on this document
Yes, sir.
and your name as well that's printed?
Sir.
Now, before you sign and circle this document, one, the court went over this document with you, and then your attorney went over this document with you as well, is that correct? Now, did you understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Also, I'm going to go back to State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, because there's a paragraph at the bottom of that document on page 1 that is titled Citizenship. And it reads as follows. If you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that? And do you still want to go forward with your plea in this case? Okay, now he needs to initial at this paragraph where it says citizenship, informing the court that he understood. You understood everything that I read to you on that document?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, you previously read that same statement, is that correct? And in fact, you had previously read that same statement, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Flores, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I showed you, well, yeah, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. Cole, you've advised and counseled your client pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky. Did you inform your client as to the consequences of him pleading guilty or no contest? And what I mean by the consequences of him not being a U.S. citizen.
He understands the issue.
Okay. Now, State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Cole, you advised and counsel Mr. Flores. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Flores, your attorney, Mr. Cole has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is in cause number 329170 for Mr. Flores, who received 90 days in jail. However, that time will be probated over 1 year. The state will waive any fine. However, the state will require $650 in restitution be paid to Francisco Sanchez.
Francisco
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor. And that Mr. Flores will also have to serve 40 hours of community service.
40 hours.
And in exchange for this plea on that cause number, the state will be dismissing cause number M329166.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Flores, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During that 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay court costs of $337. State will be waiving the fine in this case. You will also be required to pay restitution in the amount of $650 to Francisco Sanchez. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, a restitution fee of $15, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay while you are on probation. Oh, I think I messed it. Are you appointed in this case?
Yes,
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay. Your probation fee that you will be, the amount of fee that you'll be paying while you're on probation in the monthly installments is $200 a month. Will you be able to pay the $200 each month? You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. You will be required to adhere to the other standard terms of this probation. And the state will be dismissing cause number M329166. Mr. Flores, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Flores, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X that's on the floor next to your attorney, and you will follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you will be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Cole, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And this, you're welcome. I think this will conclude the calling of the court's motion to revoke probation docket and the announcement docket. Both dockets were scheduled at 9 a.m. today. And today's date is June 21st of 2023. The court will be in recess until 1:30 so that we can continue with the trial that we started on yesterday. Yes, y'all may be excused. Y'all have a blessed day.